He doesn't touch you to rush the ending. He touches you to learn your beginning. Before we go anywhere else, let me give you one promise. By the time we're done, you'll be able to read his fingers like a language and answer in a dialect only the two of you share. Now breathe with me. There's a moment most women misread the quiet reach, the slow trace, the way his hand hesitates, as if asking for permission without saying a word. You call it foreplay. He calls it access. Not power over you, but access to you. Here's the paradox. I can't stop thinking about the softest touch can carry the heaviest meaning. I used to believe this was just choreography before the main act, but now I'm not so sure, because the men who care don't perform here, they listen. And listening, when done with the hands, is louder than any speech. In the next few minutes, I'll show you something most advice columns miss: the 3 cues that tell him go, the 2 that whisper slow, and the 1 signal men never ignore when they're falling for you. Hold that thought. We'll unlock the last one when you can feel it arriving. To make this real, I want you to notice what always hides in plain sight: how your breath changes when you feel safe, how your shoulders drop when he gets it right, how your hips answer questions your mouth won't. He's watching for the music beneath your silence, and trust me, a good man doesn't want obedience. He wants resonance. If you've ever wondered why the smallest circle of his fingertip can unravel your doubt faster than 100 pretty words, it's because touch collapses the distance between intention and evidence. You don't have to believe him, you only have to feel him. And when you do, something rare begins. The room gets quieter, the world tilts inward, and choice starts to taste like certainty. Except there's one thing he's waiting to hear, and it never comes out of your mouth. He thinks you're reacting to his touch, but what he's really studying is your truth. When his fingers move, he's not searching for a spot. He's searching for a signal, the point where your guard melts and your body starts to speak without translation. That's the moment that haunts him, the one that keeps him coming back, even when he pretends not to care. You see, most men aren't taught how to listen. They grow up hearing that performance equals love, that intensity equals passion, that silence equals failure. But here, in this wordless space between his hand and your breath, he discovers something disobedient to that script. Softness is power. I know, because I used to believe control was what kept desire alive, until I learned that surrender is what makes it unforgettable. This is the curiosity loop. He can't escape how a touch so gentle can undo everything he thought he knew about being a man. The truth is, he's not just touching your body. He's tracing the borders of his own permission to care, to comfort, to connect. Every exhale you give him is proof that he's allowed to stay. That's why he slows down. That's why his eyes flicker, checking if your pulse matches his rhythm. It's not ego, it's alignment. When you shift your hips just slightly, or breathe a little deeper, you're giving him feedback louder than words. You're saying, I feel you. I'm here. Keep going. And when that message lands, he transforms from the hunter he was told to be into the listener he's always wanted to become. But here's where it gets dangerous in the most beautiful way. Because once a man learns that your pleasure is not his prize, but his mirror, he starts craving something he can't unsee: connection that doesn't end when the lights go off. It's not the climax that stays with him. It's the quiet echo after, when you're both still catching your breath, and he realizes that silence has a heartbeat, and it's yours. But there's one more thing he's afraid to admit, even to himself. He's afraid that the moment you see how much he feels, you might pull away. Because vulnerability for him has always been a losing game, wanting too much, giving too soon, showing too clearly that he needs. Yet in this small act, when his hand moves with intention instead of haste, he's risking that fear all over again. He's saying without words, "Let me be enough for you, right now. Not because of what I can do, but because of how I can make you feel." And that's why when you respond, when your breath trembles or your body softens in his palm, something inside him exhales too. He feels chosen, not just accepted. Do you know how rare that is for a man to feel chosen without having to earn it? That's why he remembers, not the touch itself, but the look in your eyes when you trusted him to stay. It's the kind of memory that rewires him, teaching him that connection isn't something you conquer, it's something you're invited into. I used to think intimacy was about chemistry, but now I think it's about permission, mutual, sacred, unspoken. That's the part no one explains, how the smallest gesture can become a map of safety. When his fingers trace you slowly, he's not testing boundaries. He's listening for your yes without you needing to say it. That yes can be a sigh, a heartbeat, a silence that feels like surrender. And when he senses it, he begins to change. His movements become deliberate, reverent, protective. Because what he's touching is no longer just skin, it's trust. And trust is the rarest currency of desire. That's why men remember the women who let them feel that they weren't just allowed in, they were believed in. That belief anchors them, heals something unseen, something ancient. But here's what no one tells you: the more safe he feels with you, the more dangerous he becomes to every other woman. Because once a man tastes that level of emotional honesty, he can't unlearn it. He'll crave it again, and only you will speak that language. Yet even that truth hides a deeper one waiting to surface. Because beneath that craving for connection lies something even more primal, the longing to be understood without being fixed. When his hand lingers and his breath slows, what he's really asking is, can I exist here without pretending? Every man, no matter how confident he looks, carries a quiet ache to be seen beyond his performance. The world teaches him to take, to impress, to protect, but rarely to receive. So when you allow him into that sacred silence, when you don't rush, when you let his touch be both question and confession, he finally experiences something no applause can give: acceptance without achievement. I used to think men wanted control. Now I see they want refuge. The control was never the goal, it was the armor. What he wants beneath it is freedom, the kind that only appears when he feels you're not analyzing or testing him, but simply feeling him. That's why he listens so intently, why his rhythm matches your breath, why his eyes flicker between curiosity and awe. Because in that moment, your response is his validation. Your comfort is his reward. You are the proof that gentleness doesn't make him weak. It makes him real. And when you reach for him not to guide, not to correct, but to mirror that tenderness, back you close the loop he didn't know was open. He realizes that intimacy isn't something he does to you. It's something he experiences with you. That's when everything changes. The dynamic dissolves. There's no leader, no follower, no performer, no audience. Just two beings caught in the same breath, creating meaning out of silence. For the first time, he feels that being wanted and being safe can coexist. But here's the twist, that safety doesn't make him complacent. It makes him addicted. Because now he's not chasing climax. He's chasing presence. He's not seeking escape. He's seeking home. And home isn't a place you go. It's a body that says stay. But there's still one thing he needs from you, the one thing that keeps the connection alive even after the moment fades. And this is what he needs from you. Not perfection, not performance, but permission. Permission to be soft without losing strength to care without fearing. It will cost him respect to touch without needing to prove. When you give him that, everything he thought he knew about intimacy rewrites itself. Because he finally understands that your pleasure isn't something he earns, it's something he shares. It's an exchange, not a victory. The rhythm between you stops being about who leads and becomes about who listens. In that listening, both of you start to unlearn. You unlearn the pressure to react, to be impressive, to play a role. He unlearns the pressure to dominate, to perform, to chase a finish line. What replaces all that is something deeper: attention. Real, undivided, quiet attention. The kind that turns seconds into eternity. When his fingers trace you now, it's not exploration, it's translation. He's decoding your trust, your desire, your unspoken invitation to stay longer inside the silence. And you, without saying a word, answer him back. I'm here, I'm open, I'm not afraid. That's when he truly sees you, not as a fantasy, but as a mirror showing him who he becomes when he's gentle. This is why men remember women who let them feel safe to care. Not because of the thrill, but because of the peace. Safety is the highest form of seduction and surrender, the most magnetic kind of power. I used to think love was about finding someone who excites you. Now I think it's about finding someone who calms your nervous system just by existing. And maybe that's the secret we never talk about. The right touch doesn't start fire. It steadies it. It doesn't consume it. Teaches you how to burn without breaking. So when he reaches for you again, don't just feel his hands, feel what he's saying beneath them. It's not just desire. It's devotion. It's not just touch. It's translation. And if you listen closely beneath the silence, beneath the heartbeat, there's still one more thing he hasn't said yet, but you'll know it when you feel it.